of Boy Erased, and from the looks of it, it's gonna be a pretty good book. It talks about sexuality and conversion camps, which is, a way of treatment for a gay person to not be gay. And I think that conversion camps is a topic that we don't really talk about as a society because we're a very conservative society. So I hope that this book shines a light on it and it brings awareness to topics like this. I think that in the end, Gerard Conley is gonna choose himself over, somebody
It
else's
seems like an
opinion.
okay book, but it also seems like also a cliche. Like a lot of stories like this have already emerged, so not really expecting a lot of great stuff. So I guess
I chose the book Boy Erased by Gerard Conley. I chose this book because my group and I looked up all the books on the summer reading list and we decided that Boy Erased was one that we all wanted to try. It seemed like the best option. I think the book will be about a boy that is having a difficult time telling his parents and telling his relatives that he likes the same gender, and I think it'll be about him getting over his fears and just being able to tell them. I'm most looking forward to meeting with my group, and I'm also really excited to hear what they think about the book and how we take it differently in different directions.
Hi, welcome to Boy Erased. I'm Saleh.
I'm Alex.
And Becca.
What is the summary of the book? It's a memoir of sexual orientation change and how his family dealt with it, the camp, and he will discover who he is because he seems like he's really confused.
Who does Gerard blame for his homosexuality? I think Gerard blames himself for his sexuality. He's always questioning why. I think like a very big factor that we've gotten so far is the part where he explains that he was raped. He still believes a lot in God, but he has doubts about God.
Does he believe homosexuality is a sin? And I would have to say yes, because he's always questioning on why he's homosexual and that it's wrong. I think he believes it's more wrong to everyone else in the world than it is to him.
Okay.
Hi,
Okay.
and this is our meeting number 2.
For Boy Erased.
Why doesn't the quote, "Lord, make me pure," mean as much anymore? It's really not about like the meaning anymore. It's just that he is just saying those words to have like a safe place. Why does he blame his parents for his sexuality being switched? I think he blames his parents.
I actually disagree.
People expect you to be normal.
It's kind of weird how like much detail that he puts in.
Thinking of David and all those other things and how traumatic it was for him, I do see that as a problem. Just looking at every car, always how he doesn't feel anything towards anything.
I think what you said, was very good. Flirts with death, the feeling of the metal of the scissors. They genuinely believe that they're cured, but that's because they've been brainwashed to, think that. But he does respect his parents and, he values their opinion. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be in this camp.
Hi.
Hi.
This is meeting number 3.
We're missing Saleh, but he's gonna do his part. It's just he had a family matter and he couldn't be here, but
Yes.
it's all good. And we're gonna do the same thing we've been doing for the past 2 meetings, and we're just gonna read the questions that Becca and I came up with. There's 6 in here, and just read them out loud and answer them. Do you want to start?
Yes. Why does Gerard feel so guilty for going out to eat with his mom? Well, it's because the center, it has like really strict rules, and I feel like they shouldn't make them feel guilty because it's just going out to eat with like your parent, and your parent puts you in the center in the first place. So it was like kind of weird that he felt so guilty about going out with his mom.
Yeah, they're like brainwashing him because like when he went to the bathroom in the gas station, he was like, oh, I shouldn't go in there because LIA says that you're supposed to go in with 2 people and at least one of them has to be like an LIA for like at least 2 months.
Does Gerard still deal with religion? In the book, he lets pray and stuff. And later in the book, he's like, oh, God doesn't mean anything to me. And then in the epilogue, it says that that he doesn't know where it's gonna go.
My turn. First question. What's significant about Snow to Gerard? What's significant about Snow to Gerard is that as a child, he was always spending time with his family, with his mom, and she was always taking him to watch movies, more specifically romance movies, and then when they would come out, it was snowing, and it just reminds him of a happy memory from his childhood. He really wanted to snow, and maybe it's like a subconscious thing that he's doing to see if maybe he can return back to those happy memories. Why does Gerard care about being gay / pleasing his father when his dad is never present throughout the whole process of him being healed? Because his father doesn't really, at this point, he doesn't really care about him. He just cares that he doesn't taint the family name by because he's becoming a preacher and he's somewhat important in their community, and he just doesn't want a son who's...
So my first question is, why do you think Jared often drifted away in his thoughts? I believe he did that because a way to separate himself from the world, all in a way, because every time he was talking to someone, he'd often drift away into another thought, or he was somewhere and with a group of people, with his friends at the restaurant, for instance, he often went away thinking about this and that, and I feel like he overthought about things, which made him hard to connect with others.
But that concludes our entries for the summer.
I just really enjoyed the book, and I think we all really connected to it, in whether it was personal stuff or I don't know, things we've heard of.
Thank you.
I did enjoy reading the book. I think that it was written in a different style. Something I didn't like about the book was that sometimes it was very slow and it was very difficult to, finish a chapter. But overall, it was a great book. He's happy now and he accepts himself for who he is. And I think that's, something very valuable in the book.
I read it, it's exactly what I thought. It was a cliche book and, traumatic, and, parents are on board, get on sort of board, after, acceptance, becoming more progressive. It's not really, wasn't really, spontaneous, it was more predictable, but at school and throughout life, we're always hearing stories about this and stuff like that, so yeah.
I think that it was a really good book. There were a lot of details which made it seem like a really lengthy book. Details that were in there were really descriptive and really gave a sense of imagery, and I really enjoyed that. I really liked reading about Gerard and all of the connections and relationships he made with all the people at LIA. My least favorite part of the book was how repetitive it was and how confusing it was at some parts. It really just followed the same plot line that I thought, and it really just was a good story to give lessons and read about another person's life